Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to complete the entire Terminus Island Easter egg. Now here's a quick look at my loadout. It's not necessary, but it will definitely help to have a fully coded out loadout. Now on top of that, you will want to use your best gobblegums. Depending on whether you're running solo or with a team, it will help whether or not you have on certain gums, like the ones that give you guys max ammos and insta-kills. These will help considerably during the final boss fight. Now let's get into the steps of the Easter egg. Now the first step is just to get the Pack-a-Punch as you normally would, so you'll just activate the 3 generators. Once you have Pack-a-Punch though, you will need to get Dead Wire on one of your weapons. From the Pack-a-Punch machine, you'll start up the Easter egg. So let's get into step 1. So after Pack-a-Punch has been unlocked, you turn on the power, we can start the Easter egg straight away. First thing you'll do is take your salvage, and you want to put on Dead Wire on one of your weapons. It doesn't matter what weapon you use, it just has to have Dead Wire. So you'll ride up the elevator, and you'll notice there's 3 electrical panels, one there, one here to the right, and then one here in the back. Once you hit those 3, you can go into the Juggernaut room, and there's going to be 2 more panels. This will open up a secret office space. Once you're in the secret office, you can get on to the next step. So open this room, activate the computer, and take out the zombie which will be on the floor. Once you do this, pick up this part that he drops and bring it over to this room which I'll show you. Now you're going to bring this part over to a briefcase, and once you open up the briefcase, it will spawn up a bunch of the vermin enemies. So just be on the lookout for that and either take them out or just simply leave. So you'll have to buy that door if you haven't already. Come in here and open up this briefcase with that tool. Once you've done this, you can go back to the office and drop it off. Now from there, it will tell you that you need to enter in a code into the machine. But before doing this, what you'll have to do is activate these 3 terminals around the map. So very quickly, come back up towards the spawn side where Quick Revive would be, and the first terminal will be located here to the left. So you notice this is like the Quick Revive door right off the spawn, and the first terminal you'll want to activate will be right here. So as soon as you have the chance, activate this terminal. You can do this at any point, and there's going to be 3 of these. So turn that on, and then simply follow my path, and I will take you to the other 2. Now keep in mind throughout running this, you're going to want to begin to level up your salvage a lot and get a bunch of points. The reason why is so that when you get to the boss, you'll have enough points. You want to try to get 3 ray guns, a ray gun for each player on your team, and then that player needs to use that ray gun to pack punch level 3. Now there's a quick look at where you're going to find the second terminal, and then follow my path, we'll go to the third. But if you're playing with a team, be sure to let them know to start saving up their points and getting pack punch weapons, especially if you can get a ray gun. So you can get a ray gun through the SAM trials or the mystery box, and you can also get some through gobblegums too if you're lucky. So you do want to make sure to get a pack level 3 ray gun for the boss fight. On top of that, save your salvage so that you can build up like chopper gunners and other sort of things for later. Now there's going to be the third terminal. After that, come back into the office and it'll ask you guys to enter in a special code. In order to get this code, go back up to the spawn. You're going to have to pay this guy 5,000 coins, and the code will be right there on that computer. Once you get the 3 numbers, you'll be able to enter them into this computer and go on to the next step. Now the next step will not start until the next round, so if you've saved a zombie and you've done all the steps, you will have to end this round and go on to the next one in order to get to the next step of the Easter egg. Now once you enter in the code, be sure to look at the monitor because it will tell you where to go next. Now it's always going to be in the same spot, but this is where you have to end the round and go to the next round in order for this monitor to update. So you can see right there it's like pinging, and then next round it'll show you the exact location that you need to go to on the map. Now the next location will always be in the same spot, so you're going to hop on a boat with your teammates and head over to the island. Now before you head over to the island, be sure to pick up the part which will spawn on this computer. It's going to open up a drawer, and you should make sure to pick up that part before going to the next step. So once you have that part, you're going to jump in a boat, and you're going to go to 3 separate islands around the map with that part. So bring the part with you and come over to this first island and insert it into this blue orb. Once you do this, you're going to have to defend the area, and eventually this orb will select a few zombies in the area, and a blue orb will spawn on that. Now, as soon as that blue orb spawns, depending on the amount of players that you have is the amount of blue orbs you'll have to pick up and deposit into the bigger orb. Once you deposit all of the orbs, be sure to pick the part back up. The orb will leave and go to the second island, so it's going to move over to Crab Island. So you'll hop back in the boat, and we'll come over here now and do the exact same thing, except over here. So when you get here, be sure to take the part that you picked up out of the blue orb, drop it into the green orb, and it will start up the process again, but you'll just have to do it here. 3 green orbs. So take out all of the zombies and fill up this section next. So eventually it's going to drop these orbs. You pick it up, deposit it into this, and then once all 3 are deposited, or the amount of players that you're playing with have been deposited, pick up the part and go back in the boat. And we're going to go over to the 3rd island and do the exact same thing again, but this time the orb will be purple. So do this one third and final time. Once you've completed this, you can actually loot a chest underwater. There's a chance for it to give you upgrades, so I suggest checking it. Now, once you've done this, go back up to the main island, and you're going to go back into the office room in order to start up the next step. So once you're back in the office, be sure to build the wonder weapon. You will need this for the next step. Now for the next step, you have to take the wonder weapon, and you may have noticed there's 3 different traps located around the map. These tentacle traps are what you want to be on the lookout for. Now, before activating the tentacle trap, what you want to do is look on the ground below the tentacle trap for what would be a red card. So, for example, here's one of the tentacle traps here, and when you look, you'll see that there's that card there. So, when you turn the trap on and you shoot it with the wonder weapon, that card will, or the trap will drop a hard drive. Now, keep in mind, guys, this might not be the same location for you. There are 3 tentacle traps that it can spawn on. There's one in here, and the rest are down in the biolab between the doors. So you see, you shoot that with the wonder weapon, the hard drive will come out, and as soon as you have this, you can bring that hard drive back up to the spawn. Now, for the next step of the Easter egg, you will have to do a small boss fight. If you have an insta kill, though, you can get through the boss fight in about 20 seconds. However, it may be a good idea to go and get some plates. Now, this is not the final boss fight, but just the halfway point through the Easter egg. So when you come this way, you'll notice now what we have to do is we have to go and get 3 special digits off of a puzzle. So what we have to do is we have to check 3 different points on the map, and it's going to give us a special code that we have to enter into a new location. So if you're at the spawn already, come over here. This is how you're going to get the first number. And when you look at this clock here, you have to look at the hour hand to get the first number. So you'll notice here that it says that it's 6:25. So all you have to do is to look at the hour hands. You know the first number is going to be 6. It's going to be different for everybody, but that's where you'll get that first number. So after getting your first number, you're going to get the second one. So just head through that door through quick revive and come into this kitchen. Now, while you're in the kitchen, what you want to do is look at this bulletin board. There's going to be a playing card there. That playing card will be your second number. Now from there, just follow my path. We're going to go get the third number from this other room. So if you follow this direction and you just simply look at a sign that's going to be on the wall, it will give you the third number. Now this is the order which you have to enter the numbers in as well. So it's a good idea to check the code in this exact order. So come in this room, you'll see that there's a sign that says days since last accident. And that's where you want to check to get your third number. Now that you have all 3 numbers, you want to make your way back down to the biolab. Make sure that all your entire team is here. And what you'll do is you'll start to activate this boss fight. Now, in order to activate the fight, you have to hold square on this object here and wait a few seconds until you can activate the keypad. Once you can activate the keypad, enter the numbers which we just retrieved, and from there you'll want to spin these little orbs which are on the boss. Now, depending on how many players you have, you all have to spin it at the same time. So make sure that if you have teammates that they spin theirs as well. Now, once you do this, a boss fight will start. If you have an insta-kill, you can pop it now, or one of the gobblegums to pop insta-kill, and you'll notice that you can pretty much shred right through the boss very, very quickly with this insta-kill. Now, even without it, it is pretty easy, but you do want to make sure you have a pack-a-punch weapon and that the rarity of your weapons leveled up in order to make this easier. Now, once you're through this first phase of the fight, you're almost actually about halfway done, so you can get on to the next portion. Now, if you're playing with 3 players, the next portion does not require everyone to be there, so you can kind of split up if you want to stay and make it safe. After the cutscene is over, jump into the water and grab your key card. And from this point, you'll have to grab a boat. So if you're doing it with 2 people or 3 people, only 2 people have to be there. Grab your boat, and what you're going to do is you're going to make your way over to the big ship, which is off to the right. Once you get here, there's going to be a secret entrance which you can go through underneath the ship now that you have this key card. So go up into the secret entrance and you wait until both teammates are inside. And once both teammates are inside, you will have to pick up one of these canisters. Once you pick up these canisters, it will lock the room shut and you'll have to defend it for about 20 to 30 seconds. So just keep that in mind before going in. You might want to make sure you have armor, field upgrade, or just something to make sure you can handle this room. So you see you pick up these canisters here and it starts up this small boss fight, but it will also lock you inside. Now, once this boss fight is over, make sure you and your teammate both have their canisters. You should see them on your back, and you'll know you have one when you can't sprint. From there, grab the boat, and what you'll have to do is bring these canisters to 3 locations around the map. Now, there's a chance that one of them will not work. As you can see, we only have 2 canisters, but there are 3 different spots that this could potentially go to, so I'll show you all 3 spots. Now, the first thing you want to do is in the boat and check the first one off to the right. So if you pull up to Crab Island, on the far right side of Crab Island, you'll notice that there's this small hose which you can put the canister in. Now you'll know you're at the right spot when you see a giant gap in the hose and also when you see all of the zombies spawning. So right here down in the corner you'll see the first potential spot that it can be in. Now if this gap's already filled or there's like no zombies spawning or anything like that, you'll know that that's just not the right spot in your game. There's 3 places it can be in. So once you guys have done this one, you'll want to go and make your way to the second location. So hopefully that one worked for you. If not, you'll have to check the other 2 spots. Now the chance of it being here is 30%. So you're going to check here underneath the dock. There's a chance of there being another spot right there. So that was the first 2 spots that we had, and that worked out for us. Now, if you guys still need one more slot, it's going to be located inside the tunnels right on your way to the biolab. So make your way into the tunnels and check on the right side of the wall. You should see a giant hose running through the entire tunnel, and that's where you're going to go and put that 3rd canister spot if you need to go there. So you would come up the stairs here, head to the tunnel on your left, and it'll be literally right there on the right side of the tunnel. Now, once you've done this, you'll go back up top and they'll grab an object from the safe deposit box, which would be like that hard drive we got earlier. Now it should be ready to go. From this point, you'll have to go back in a boat again with a second teammate, and you have to go and activate 3 buoys around the map. Now, it's best if you do this with 2 people, or it doesn't really matter how many you have, but basically have one guy drive, and the other person's going to want to stand at the front of the boat. It's best if you're in 3rd person, though. Now, the first buoy is going to be located over here. What you'll have to do is bring this device, which we just got out of the post box at the spawn. You have to bring it to 3 different buoys. Now, in order to do this, to make it easier, do not get out of the boat and do not get in the water, because if you do, it's going to spawn toxic gas. Simply drive up to the buoy, open up the laptop, and as soon as the laptop is open, have your teammate drive away, and you can still activate it while you're moving. This is the best way to do it, especially after failing this method or this portion of the fight multiple times. Only have 2 people go, and simply have one person drive. The other guys need to stand right here at the front of the boat. You can go in 3rd person to make it easier, and I'll show you guys how to do it. So first buoy was right there, right next to the spawn on the left. After that, circle around Crab Island. You're going to see the second buoy here next to the big giant ship. You see me pull out the laptop, and we just drive right on by. Do not stop and sit there, as it's going to make it harder, and then it's just don't bother doing it. Keep driving around. You'll notice the 3rd buoy is going to be located right next to the 3rd island. So you see we drove right past the ship. Keep going, and you'll notice in the far off distance that there is another buoy. Now, as soon as you get this buoy, guys, if you are playing with a full team, make sure your teammate meets you in the biolab. The reason why is because there is the next portion of the Easter egg you have to do within 5 minutes time. Now, it's not very hard, but you just want to make sure you're all there. As soon as you activate the 3rd satellite, keep your boat, because you need to take the boat into a secret entrance. If you keep circling around, right here, you should see the secret entrance into the biolab. Be sure to just take this path. It's the easiest way to get back, and now you can get on to the next step. So as you can see, our teammate just jumped down, met us down in the biolab, and we can go and do the next step. Now, this next step is going to have you guys diffusing 3 canisters around the biolab. So if you're playing with a team, make sure your teammates kind of guard you, because this will take at least 10 seconds. The first one is going to be located right here. You'll see those blue doors begin to swing open, and once those doors are open, you can actually go in and defuse the charge. So mark it on your map so that your teammates know where to go, and just have them defend you for the 15 or 20 seconds it will take. Now, after this, turn around, and on the opposite end, there's going to be the second canister. You can go and defuse that one. And then the 3rd canister is going to be located right next to Melee Macchiato, below the big office inside of the biolab, right next to the stairs. So I'll show you all 3 locations. Now, once you have done this, guys, you are actually done with the Easter egg, and you can start up the boss fight at any point in time. However, I do not suggest jumping straight into the boss fight, as you will need to prepare yourself for what is going to be probably one of the hardest fights in a Call of Duty game. Now, once you guys, in order to prepare for this, you're going to need 3 ray guns pack level 3. You're going to need all the perks that you can, whether using Gobble Gum or just by going to the machines. you're going to want to try to go in with 2 monkey bombs, 3 chopper gunners, and then on top of that, you want to try to get your field upgrades and any additional gobblegums you will need. Now, this might seem extreme, but I can promise you it's not, and that this boss fight genuinely is that hard. So make sure you have 3 ray guns, pack level 3 on the ray guns, your gobblegums to give you guys max and instant kill, and as many perks as you can have. On top of that, guys, it sounds crazy, but you're going to actually need another 10,000 points in your score. And the reason why is because when you're in the boss fight, the only way to buy ammo is to get it off of that chest, and it's going to cost 10 grand if you have a pack level 3 ray gun. Now, if you guys have the gobblegums in order to give you maximum ammo or additional perks, this may not be necessary to have that extra 10k, and you will also get a max ammo during halfway through the boss fight as well, but it's just better to have it in case you need it. So now that all that's out of the way, guys, you are officially ready to do the Easter egg or go and take down the boss. But I promise you guys, you do need to prepare yourself that much because it's not worth having to run it a second or even third time in order to complete it. So now that you have defused all 3 of these, in order to start the Easter egg, you'll go downstairs and you will see a white door that you can activate the final boss fight on. But as you guys can see, we took quite a while to prepare. We got all the way to around 33. Now, if you're using a ray gun, guys, make sure you have PhD flopper. The reason why is because if you do not have PhD flopper and you use the ray gun can actually damage yourself and end up making you go down. So you want to have flopper if you're using the ray gun to make sure that you can't damage yourself. Now, when you're ready, you're going to activate that door right there, and your teammates will have to accept it in order to get into the boss fight. Now, once you get inside the boss fight, immediately go to either the far left side or far right side because the boss will slam down in the middle of the map and one hit anybody who's standing there. Now, at this point, it does get a little different because you're going to have to pick whatever role you want to play. Now, because we were playing in trios, my first 2 teammates stood at the front of the room where they could focus on doing damage to the boss, whereas I went to the back of the room so that I could focus on distracting a few of the enemies and also taking out these tentacles which spawn in the back of the water. Now, every so often, you want to be shooting these tentacles which spawn in the back of the water. They take 1 to 2 bullets to take down, especially if you're using ray gun. Now, it might seem a little delayed, but as soon as you hit it once or twice, you'll know that it will go down and that they can no longer shoot you or your teammates. So if you're choosing to stay in the back area, you'll just run back and forth, going in between the zombies and the tentacles so that your teammates don't get hit. If you're in the front of the room, though, you want to be sure to be shooting at the boss. Instead of the tentacles, you'll shoot at the boss, and you'll see crit spots in front of the boss. Giant red crit spots are going to pop up on the right and left side. Now, if you're the one running in the back of the room, you can easily do damage to the boss as well by just simply shooting the boss in the back. Now, at this point, guys, you want to have 3 chopper gunners as well. Do not pop them straight away, though. You want to wait a little bit until you're about 20% through the fight before popping your first chopper gunner, because it's pretty much a waste in the first phase. There's really not much to worry about at first, but it gets really, really crazy as you progressively do damage to the boss. Now, I'm going to let the rest of this boss fight play out. It gets a little insane towards the end, and I ended up having to use quite a few of my gobblegums to help me revive and things like that. There was a point in time, I think, where every single one of the people on our team went down at one point or another, and this really is a pretty intense fight. There aren't really much ways to make it any easier than what we did. It might have been a little easier if we had a 4th player, but that being said, you can very easily get it done either in solos, trios, or in a full squad. So hopefully this does help you guys out. Keep in mind and just remember to use your energy or your perks and abilities to make sure that the zombies don't attack you. Use all your gobblegums that you can. Now, what really tripped us up here actually is that a player ended up joining our game during the boss fight at the worst possible time, right when I was trying to pop my gobblegum. And for whatever reason, whenever that player joined, it did not let me pop my gobblegum, and it actually ended up making me go down because of it. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you're trying to help out a friend by like having them join after completing all of the steps or something like that and help them out, make sure that you do it before the fight starts, or that do it at the beginning of the fight. Have the player join towards the beginning, because if you don't, it may not let you use your gobblegums, and it's kind of frustrating. It did make us almost lose the fight because of it. I don't know if my friend invited somebody or how the dude got in our game, but somebody joined our game and almost completely botched it up. So hopefully this helps you guys out. I'll let the rest of the gameplay play out. It gets pretty intense towards the second half of the fight where we have to pop our chopper gunners and just literally give it everything we have in order to survive. We even had to coordinate when we were going to pop, our max ammos, our perks, and all these things like that. Now, towards the end of the fight, though, there's going to be a second phase. During the second phase, you're going to see it play out in the video. The boss's eyes will turn blue. Once the boss turns blue, everyone needs to be standing at the front of the boss room, which you'll see me rotate there later on. Every time the boss's eyes turn blue, you have to break every single one of the boss's eyes, and then he will begin to charge up. Once the boss begins to charge up, he will immediately one hit every single enemy or every single one of the players that are there. So as the boss is charging up, you have to get into one of the safe spots on either the left or right side of the map behind the boxes. Now you're going to see all of this play out in the video during the second half of the boss fight. So just keep that in mind once you get to that second phase. The boss is going to turn blue. You want to all stand at the front of the room, shoot at the boss's eyes, and as the boss begins to charge up, just hide behind some boxes so that you do not get one hit wiped. Hopefully this helps you out. Good luck in the fight, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All good things come to an end. Fortunately, so do the bad ones.
Well, today still didn't go like I thought it would.
Today must have been very difficult for you, Pack. Humiliating, even. But at least we eliminated that monster, and Modi. Gather in the guard station. I have a proposal that I believe may interest you.